Hey guys, come on in. Let me know you're here. Hopefully, you all can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me or not. I'm checking over here to make sure I'm actually live because Facebook changed everything on us. So, all of us creators who normally go live in all the platforms are now wondering what's going on with our groups because we can't tell if we're live in our groups and because it's just not happening. So, with that, we're going to do the Beautiful Mothers signpost kit. And the signposts, if you have not seen the signpost, it's this ginormous, let me find the camera, it's this ginormous thing. And so you have a piece that goes here, a piece that sits here, and then one that hangs here, and you can switch them out for seasons and all that fun stuff. You have holes on the back with your instructions, or you can just pop those signs right out. So we're just going to go through and we're going to do it's the Beautiful Mothers signpost kit. And these are the bags that they come in. I've actually separated everything. This one goes here and this one goes here. I've separated everything because there's a lot of little pieces for the flowers to this one. And so I put it together here because this one, this one's like a puzzle. So we're going to go ahead and sort my colors because I always not always. Most of the time, I sort all my pieces by color. And so I've got them all over here on the side. So I'm just trying to, first of all, I'm debating whether or not I need a new table. I need a bigger table. Let's not debate. I need a bigger table. Let's just say that. Um, if it'll happen, I don't know. But so I'm going to sort and we're going to go through. And this guy, we're just going to sort really quick. And the colors are my Home Depot colors. I've got French lilac, seashell pink, sunflower, terracotta, white, olive green, clover truffle, forest moss, toasted terracotta, and steel gray. I did break out the gloves today, so we may or may not splatter. Depends on the feedback from you guys, whether or not you want to splatter. But I did break out the gloves because I know that in the bee pictures that you guys have been seeing, you think it's glitter. It's not glitter, it's splatter. And I did that with the toothbrush, but I don't splatter all the time just simply because it is so stinking messy. I love the look of it. I really truly do love the look of the splatter, but it's just so messy and it gets everywhere and that I don't like. So I'm just looking I need bigger eyeball or younger eyeballs maybe to be able to see these. And so my husband, he takes pictures of things and then he zooms in on the picture. I'm like, are we at that age? That's what we're doing. Kind of feeling like this right now with these little tiny pieces to figure out what color's what. I'm just pulling all the yellows. These guys are all white. So we're just going to separate these guys right now. Those are all white. And then we've got this little one here is yellow. So I think I've got all the yellows. So we'll put them over here in our pile. This one's pink, lavender, and blue. So we'll put those in our pile. And then the rest, these guys are all the clover truffle, which is the medium green that I use. This one is my orange, which is toasted terracotta. And then these ones, we're just going to use the terracotta. Yellow, forest moss. Right? Right. Just sorting. And then these are yellow, sunflower. And then the rest of this is white, except so the top here, I'm going to do in the olive green. So that's like the leaf branches in the background. And then the vase is the steel gray. So, but we'll set those to the side because we're going to have two separate colors on that. But these guys are just the white. And since they're so tiny, let me move this out of the way. This is why I need a bigger table. Stuff is all around me. Since we've got a lot of little pieces, you guys have seen me use the tape before. It doesn't always happen because of the adhesive backing that I use on my pieces so that you don't have to use the glue. It doesn't always stick like I want it to. Sometimes we get lucky and sometimes we don't. I'm really hoping my speaker is working right now or my microphone because they're blasting their music out there. And I'm like, oh gosh, hopefully you guys can't hear all that. Okay, so we're going to start with white because these big pieces here are white and then these little tiny pieces. And I filled up, almost got rid of almost all the honey bottles with my last excursion to Home Depot where we bought the $2 paint when it was on sale, but guess what? Oh, good. I'm like, I'm hoping you guys can't hear them right now because they're blasting like 90s alternative right now. That was my era. I really enjoy that music, but I don't know how everybody does. So trying to get this stuck at the bottom, guys. So now we're gonna deal with that. There it comes. Oh, it's really goopy. So we're gonna add some water to that. Anyways, the Home Depot excursion. Not all of the paints works the way they planned because apparently Home Depot has different base whites, which is a big deal. I had them mix them all, and now I have probably like 10 different colors I could add to everything. Right now, I'm just adding because that was really thick, so I'll bring you in. So I just added some water. I'm just mixing that up in my white so I can thin it out a little bit. And we'll just use a brush and get it on there so I can save my poor brush over here that I just used to mix. If I was thinking ahead, I would have used the palette knife. Wasn't thinking ahead. Okay, so now the magic erasers. These are my favorite. Hold on, let me grab my pink pokey. Can't live without this. So when hold this down when I'm using little pieces, and especially if you try it on the blue painter's tape to hopefully help it stick a little bit. If you're successful and it sticks and you have like script font, you can peel the tape up before you peel the font off. That will lessen your chances of breaking the font when you're peeling it off the tape. So I'm gonna stick that over there and then we'll go to the big pieces. Now, that's still really, watch this. We're gonna try something I've never done because this paint is different. It's that matte paint, and I'm not quite sure I really like that. So I'm just taking my wet brush and kind of get my MDF wet so that I can spread the paint. We'll see if this works. You might see my faux pas right here in the middle of a live because that's how we roll, right? We're experimenting. We're seeing if it works. Oh, it helps spread the paint a little bit. But now you guys all know, don't buy the matte samples. I went back and I got, I think it's the matte samples that I got in the store, and I think it's the flat samples that are online. I'll have to go back and look, but one or the other you don't want to use because obviously that clumps up and it's way too thick. You'll always be safe with the craft paints, so just use deco art or folk art if you can find it. That's the problem is lately people can't find the folk art. And so that's why I've been using a lot of the deco art colors too. That's just water on the top. I didn't bring out any of my paint retarders or anything like that. And so the other thing I heard, and I'm probably about to get paint all over my face. The other thing, hi Kim. The other thing I heard was that not the sponge, not the magic erasers. That's par for the course with the magic erasers. If you're using them, they fall apart on your project. I deal with it. Normally when it dries, you can just wipe off the little tiny pieces. But the makeup brushes, that's the word I was looking for, is flaking off too. I don't use them as much, so I haven't experienced that yet. If that's happening, let me know, and then I'll play a little bit more with them to kind of figure out if there's a workaround or what's going on with them. But for the most part, I just use my magic erasers simply because I like the look that it leaves as far as base coating on them versus even the makeup sponges. I'll use a magic eraser and then I'll just switch over to a brush even before I use the makeup sponges. Makeup sponges for me strictly are like blending. We're gonna need more of that white, and that white's not fun. But I will use it more for blending than I do for painting. You guys, I'm gonna have to add water to this and shake it up because it's just not happening. Okay, we're gonna do this again with the water and add some more water to the white because we always need at least 2 coats of white. Just quickly get it over here with the brush that I use to stir instead of palette knife. Note to self, test your paints before you go live. Okay, we're gonna get one more coat on this guy. I guess most of this is gonna be covered up by the vase. I can just see how much I don't have to paint. We'll get up top here before we look and see. But I'm guessing it's because I branched out and used a different base, trying to save money like we do as crafters. We try to find the good deals, right? Well, I tried to find the good deal and look what happens. See if we can cover most of that with that. I got most of it. Okay, I don't have any more white. I wanna make sure before we move on and set these aside. So just move all of that to the side, and then we're gonna hope the rest of these work. This is olive green, and I'm just painting the background on the leaves, the olive green for the depth because there's tons of pieces on the top of this, which means there's a lot of layering from the pieces and not necessarily from the paint. Normally, if you want more texture, more depth, more dimension, you do it with paint and add layers that way. But this designer's file, she's got a lot of little pieces to it. And I'm hoping that everybody likes puzzles. And I'm just gonna draw a line right here. See, there's a magic eraser. Par for the course, they fall apart on your pieces. I just grab that, just throw it in the trash. And then the steel gray, shake that up. And that's the bottom. I'll just use the other side of the white sponge. And I'm not worried too much about the second coat on the olive green. You guys can't tell. It doesn't look like on the camera that you can tell, but in person, it probably needs a second coat if I was gonna have it be my top layer. But again, since there's so many pieces layering on the top of this, I'm not worried about it because it'll hide most of it. Okay, we'll set that to the side. I'm just move my little pieces. Put that in front of us for a second. And then we'll grab, let's do terracotta. Is this one still in the honey bottles I hate? I'm able to transfer. I think I've only got 4 honey bottles left out of my 20 colors. And I cannot wait until I'm totally done. They might work better if I was just filling them up with craft paint, but because it is the home look, I've got paint everywhere all over me already. But because it's the Home Depot paint, it globs up and it's really gross at the top of the lid. And that rubber piece at the top of the honey bottle just clogs up and you can't get any paint out of it whatsoever. I've never tried the honey bottles with the craft paint in them, so it might be a totally different experience if you guys are filling it up with, like, the deco art or folk art or any of the, craft barrel or whatever, the apple barrel. From my experience with the Home Depot ones, don't do it. If you also are worried about getting edges, like, I know some people worry about, like, getting paint on their edges. I'm not too worried about it. Light hands. You can come back over. So, like, if I was well, wait a second, and I'll show you. If I was worried about that and I was, like, super sad that I got the edges, say, for, like, on the script font, you can come back in with a Sharpie. Let me before I show you guys, see if I have a Sharpie near me. I have that one, that might work. Um, and then but you can just come back in with a Sharpie and then kind of, like, paint the edges to get the dark of the wood back. Um, what are they called? Like, the markers for your wood floors, the stain pens. You can get those at, like, Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever. Those work too. Those are really great. Just make sure that whatever you're using is gonna be water soluble, otherwise it's gonna come right off. So, like, if you're using, um the distressed crayons, I've seen people work with the distressed crayons, Tim Holtz distressed crayons, those are not they're you can reactivate them with water, so if you're using them on the edges, you're gonna ruin your piece by putting it on there, and then it will spread all over if it gets wet on accident, so don't use those. Let me see, I'll show you. These are the new Sharpies. They're supposed to look like markers, and they're really cool so far, but you can just come back in here and just touch up your edges like that, and that will make your edges look a little bit more clean if you get paint on them. Doesn't bother me. Obviously, I'm a messy crafter. So, that's a trick that people have used to clean up edges. I'm gonna get some more pieces right here. If the edges bother you. But again, make sure that you're using something that won't be reactivated if you get it wet again, or if you do, seal it. If you choose to use something like that, make sure that you seal it so that if it does get wet, it's got a seal coat over it so it doesn't reactivate by water. So those are my two tricks there for that. These ones are going to be Forest Moss. So this is my lightest green. I have 3 shades of greens. We have the light value, the medium, and the dark, and we're using all of them in this piece. We use the back side of this magic eraser. And you can come in. Where's this one go? That one goes there. You can come in because this is still wet paint. You can come in and just kind of create a little bit of texture to it. You can't see that far, but I'll bring it up closer so you can see what I've done. Let me find the camera. There it is. So you can kind of see the little spots on there. That was just dabbing with the wet paint from the magic eraser. And then, of course, light coats for here and kind of like I'm doing, just dab, 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 versus dragging it across. You're going to be more likely to get paint in the center of your lettering or your script fonts or wherever you're painting if you're dragging. So just dab. And if you don't like the texture that the dabbing leaves, then you can just come lightly, like I'm barely putting any pressure on here, and just kind of clean up the texture. But I am a huge texture girl. So I love texture. I love layers. I love the dimension things get when you add multiple layers and dimensions to them. So these two go on this. Well, let's not do that because then I'll get green all over that. And I don't want that. Mm. All right, so now we're into the flowers. I got a lot of yellow. I'm going to do yellow because there's multiple coats usually for yellow. This is the sunflower. And we're going to grab our tape back again and hope that it works. Doesn't always. We get lucky when it does. Simply because this sticky it's like super glossy. And so it doesn't like to stick to the painter's tape. See, just like that, it fell right off. Most of the time, if you can get the entire piece on there, it's super helpful. And then pressure. If you can't handle the pressure, hey, Amy, if you can't handle the pressure, you should come up here. Are you still in twin? If you can't handle the pressure with your hands, use a book or something heavy to kind of put some pressure on there. And then you can, hopefully it sticks. But like I said, because of the sticky, then, okay, then you're only 2 hours away. You should come up here to the big city. This is really glossy and really slick, and it doesn't stick to the tape as much. Hey, Wendy, Boise. So sunflower. And Wendy over here is in council, so we can all like come. I'm in the middle. Y'all can come to me. I've got a little bit of sunflower. We'll grab a new magic eraser. And this yellow, because it's a lighter yellow, most of the time takes 2 coats. But again, the magic erasers are so quick. Okay, I'm hoping all of this is gonna stick. I don't think it will. On the 3rd over the okay, maybe we can make that work, Amy. Message me. See how that one just popped right off. That's where this little handy dandy pink, my little pink pokey, just from the Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 2. I'm pretty sure it's for vinyl and weeding and all that kind of stuff. But this comes in handy for so much. We use it to poke all the pieces out when we're cutting on the laser. Obviously, I use it for painting. You can see mine's got paint all over it. You can use it for digging the paint out, like of the grooves. You too, Amy. I'll talk to you soon. Lots and lots and lots of uses for this. Was I using? Oh, I was using the end this side for black paint the other day. So seriously, you guys, pick some of these up. Many uses for them. So now this little guy is going to go on the top of this one. Let me see. This way. So that'll sit there, and then it sits in the stand off to the side. And when we're finished, I'll put all the pieces in there and show you. But I'm going to give these guys another coat. And again, if you want these little circles to show, just light hand. Don't use gobs and gobs and gobs of paint. It's better to go over with multiple light-handed layers than it is to think you can go on really thick and do it once. That never works out. Promise. I've done it. It doesn't work. Okay. I'm going to move all these out of the way. And then we shall do, I should have kept the tape over there. I probably need new tape though, because that one's not sticking very well anymore. But this is the Clover Truffle. So this is our medium shade of the green. And with all the 3 different layers. Yeah, oh yeah, you guys, I touched that white. That's definitely, you wouldn't stand, don't buy the cheap $2 bottles off of Home Depot. You're not going to be happy. Although the sale's over. So if they go on sale again, don't do it. Um, I feel like that one's it's super rough and super scratchy. It almost feels like sandpaper over the top of it, and I don't like that. So we're gonna see what kind of texture that it might help the adhesion, like, it has something to stick to. It gets some tooth for the sticky backs, but other than that, we're gonna find out. So just grab these guys. And if this one, because it's on there, it's super, super thin piece right there, so that's gonna be susceptible to breaking off. If it does, don't worry, because the way these are placed on there, they're all over, and so you'll never know. I was just seeing it when I was painting, it was super wobbly. And I don't think 2 coats, I think we'll be okay with the 1 coat on that one. This one, really quick, is the sky blue. I'll move this over. I have to clean as I go, otherwise I just have this tiny table and it's messy. And I'm just gonna use the other side of the green, so if I get green on there, I'm really not gonna cry about it. I'll just hold it up at, like, a 45-degree angle and kind of drag out from the center. Because of the center, we're gonna have one of these white dots in the middle of it, so if you don't get the whole thing, that doesn't really matter, you won't be able to see it. I'm gonna grab this is the seashell pink. Let's see, do I have any nope, we'll have to use a new one. Or we can I don't know where my slicer is. Normally, I'll just chop off the edges and reuse, but I have no idea where my knife's at right now. I cleaned, and you know what happens when you clean, you don't know where anything's at. And going through my shed. So, we sold the big house, moved into town 2 years ago, so a lot of my stuff, like my crafting stuff, because we don't have space for it in the little house now, has been in the shed, and so I was in there digging some stuff out, and I found all my papers and all my planners and all that fun stuff because I used to play in the stickers and the planners, but the squirrels have been getting in there, so I'm like I've been able to save most of it. They got to all the board games, all the kids' board games, and so there's none of that savable. So that's my when we're done here, I'm gonna go empty my shed and hopefully I know all my fabrics, thank goodness, and my yarns, thank goodness, have been in plastic tubs, so I'm hoping they didn't get to those yet. If I come back here and cry, then we know the squirrels got to my fabrics and yarns. But that's my next task, is to clean out my shed and take any toys away from the squirrels. Okay, so we've got all the pieces. I'm debating on the splatter simply because we do have so many colors. We can we can splatter the back piece. I shall shove all of these out of the way, and I don't have any sandpaper with me either. I totally wanna sand that white because it's really bugging me. But I brought gloves because, again, like I've said many, many times, I love the look of splatter, but the way that I do it, it gets underneath my fingernails and it sits there and it gets all over the stuff. So my laptop's right there. So I'm gonna find a piece of paper and cover that. Grab my toothbrush. Gonna stick it in the water. We shall use my pretty rainbow piece. Oh, I'm at a slant. I don't know if it's gonna stay. I'm trying to cover all the electronics in front of me. Seriously, that's why I feel like I need a full body glove because it's messy. But I really do like the bee, the picture of the bee that you guys are seeing everywhere right now. It's not glitter. It's actually the splatter. So that I know you guys are like, "What? How did you do that?" Toothbrush, a glove, because I promise it's worse than this. And then it's in my water. I've just stuck the toothbrush in my water, my dirty water. And then I'm literally going to, let's see, I'm debating on the color. Let's do the terracotta. So I'm going to stick it in this terracotta right here. This is how I got messy too, is I'll put my hand in another paint. And then depending on how far up or down you are will depend on the size of your splatter. So my phone's there. Let me move that. The closer you are, the smaller, the further, the other way, opposite. And I don't know, you can see that a little bit. That's literally, that's all you do to splatter, guys. All of that. And you can keep going. But this, if you don't have a glove, this is what happens to your fingers. Use a glove. Highly recommend it. I'm going to set that over there. I'm gonna move this. I was gonna dry brush this. I brought my Fugly brush out. And I was gonna put some white on it, but that white's pretty gross. We can try it. We'll see how far we get with it. So I'm just dipping it. It's not wet or anything. My brush is not wet. And then I'm just see if you can. I'm trying to keep the foil out because it reflects off the light, so it's really bright. So I just have a little bit super dry, and I'll come in from the sides like this. You can turn it and come in from this side like this. That'll get your edges. Since it's such a small piece, you can go across the whole piece like this. If it was a larger piece like one of these that I was trying to dry brush, but it was this way, you're gonna come in from this side and come in from this side, because if you stop here and then start again here, you're gonna have bigger spots right here. So come in from the edges. And my Fugly brush just leaves pieces all over because literally it's dying. Okay. What else do we got? These two will be quick. Let's put these two together. I'm not doing anything. I should have splattered those ones, but I'm not going to. So this one just goes on here like this, and then it will sit. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. We'll bring this in because it's huge. So this guy is going to sit right in here for the signpost. It sits right there. So I'm going to put that to the side. And then we'll come back. We'll do this one because this one will be quick. You're going to watch me struggle trying to put this one together because there's so many pieces to that one. Okay, so mothers, what else do we got? Let me bring my labels back over here. So we have day and happy, and that's it on this one. I should have splattered that one different because that's the same color. You could add more. I mean, you don't have to stop with one color. You can do multiple colors and make it like a rainbow. That would be fun. You try different size toothbrushes. That might get you a different effect. You can try brushes. If you're a subscriber, you'll watch me. It was this one. So the ones that you guys are getting right now, I videoed and I tried different brushes and angles and all of the things. And so if you watch those videos, you can see the different results that I get from them on the picture frame houses. So this piece is the piece that goes in the center of the signpost. Knock the cameras around while I bring it over here. It's really big, but I'm just going to pop it in. Pop it in there. So that's where this one goes. So we've got this little guy sitting here and this little guy that's really bright on my white. Pretend that's not so bright. And then the other one is what hangs. So let's get that over here with all my puzzles. All of these pieces. I hope you guys like puzzles. I like puzzles. We used to have one when I was a kid that was like chocolate chip cookies, and the background was all black. Or okay, who's all my Where's Waldo people? There was one where it was all the same Waldo in one of the books, and we had that as a puzzle. So that was always a fun one. Hopefully my mom's not watching. And I'm just dry fitting all these. I'm not putting them down because I want to find placement first because there are so many pieces. And I'm just following the label. We'll grab the big pieces first. This one kind of goes up a little bit higher. Orange is right here. And then that little guy. Okay, now we're going to grab all the leaves. We'll pull all of these guys over. I can't tell if somebody's like knocking at my door. I'm right behind in the front desk. And so there's all kinds of commotion going on right now. This one goes up here. And you can kind of see the depth it's creating from the darker to the medium. And that's the light. I don't think we used any light pieces on these ones or the light green on these ones. We'll go here. I have 3 in my hand. This one, guys, goes here. And then we have the little, okay, this one's going to go on. It's going to go on. So we'll wait for a second for that one. And then we'll grab these little like budding flowers is what I'm assuming they are. I'll push this one in. This one goes here. I feel like that one should have been a darker yellow, but that's okay because it's going to be the same right there. This one's going to go over here. And kind of lay that there. I think I like it that way. Okay, now let's put the white ones on here. Now, when you get this, if you guys get this kit, watch between these two. I don't know where that went. There it is. You have the center dots here, and then you have this one that has all the dots. So this is like another like budding flower versus this one that is like the center of the flowers. So pay attention to that. But other than that, I think that's probably all the other pieces are different and you'll be able to tell them apart. And then let's see, this guy was kind of layered right here. I've got some there. More over here. I'm missing a flower there. I mean, a leaf. Where's it at, guys? There's one. I have a rogue leaf somewhere, probably on the floor. I'll find it. Or not. I don't know if I'll find it. Okay, so then we'll just put all the pieces together. Yeah, I totally have a rogue leaf. This one. There we go. Did not want to come off. It was just ripping into pieces. Kind of line this up on the edges because the vase moves up, right? So you're going to find where it fits and where you like it before it starts coming off the edges of the vase. And you don't, when you're putting these things, even though that's off, then you can still kind of move them around. Once I stick my hand like that, that's not, I mean, it will come up, but because of this way that this one's cut, you'll probably break that one. If I did it with one of the circles, I could probably push down and then pop it up with this little guy. It's what I use all the time, or my fingernails, which is probably why they break all the time. Um, Still looking for my rogue leaf. But you can reposition things when they come back down. Are they gonna be as sticky if you push down and then pull them back up? No, but don't be afraid to use the glue. As much as I'm like, "Don't use the" it's super glue I don't like. I don't mind the other glues. It's super glue. And I'm just getting, like, most of the regular pieces put down before I tackle this thing. This back piece, if you cover everything, I think that would have been really cute splattered with, like, lighter greens or whites or even some pinks if you use the same color palette that I did. If somebody does that, you'll have to post in the group and show me because I wanna see that. I think that would be really cool. See, like that one, I'm looking at it, it's not I'm coming at an angle, you guys are straight down, so you have to tell me if it's right because I feel like over here it's not level. We're good? Okay, there it goes. There it stays. Just grab this guy. So one thing I don't like about the script fonts is they always rip. They can't be nice and come off in one piece. Okay, I'm looking at the camera to kinda see my placement because you guys have the best you have a better view than I do, so I'm looking over here. Okay, there it is. All right, now I'm gonna go for these rounds before I go for everything else that's little. I'll start at the top and work my way down versus these guys, but I'm gonna go, hmm, thinking that it might be that these yellow guys and this leaf probably last for sure. And then we'll just come in and place everything else. So we'll pull those guys off because those are easy to remember where they go. Well, this little puzzle that you kind of have to squish together. You don't want it, like, spread out so far that it doesn't look like a bouquet, but then you don't want it, like, squished together to where you don't see the background and the dark. Hey, Lorianne. No, you're totally fine. Glad to have you here. Be gentle with this one if you put it right here, because this is the one that I told you is on there by a thread, and so if it breaks, it's not the end of the world, it's just 2 different pieces. Alright, let's work our way from the top down. So we'll start with these little pods. They're like the script font. They're not coming off together. My gosh, you guys, I'm so glad you can't hear them right now. They're so loud. It sounds like somebody's on the roof just like jumping up and down. I don't know what they're doing. We'll stick this one here. That's not too bad. Okay, perfect. And we'll get this one. All these little guys are okay. That was nice. That came off nice one piece. Do this one. What doesn't want to come off that? Oh, did we get it? No. This is the other thing this comes in handy for. Peeling up the sticky. Let's put it yeah, let's go this way. This is more oblong the other way. Whoop. Okay, we've got these guys. We're gonna hold on to this guy because it's gonna come in handy for these little pieces. Okay, now you see how this I'll show you in a second. If I tip it now, it's gonna all fall off. But same with, like, some of the villages that you guys have worked on before where some of the sticky back is exposed. You can, instead of peeling off all of it, just peel off a portion of it, and then you can leave that side with this piece on it so that, like, dog hair, cat hair, kid hair, your hair doesn't get on the back and get it all fuzzy. I will also, if it's a bigger piece and I want to protect it, I'll just tap it like that until it's not sticky anymore. That works too. If you are I haven't painted the back. I know there's some people that like to paint the backs of their projects. I have not. So that may or may not work. I haven't tried it. So if it's something you try, let me know in the Facebook group. Share with us and let us know if it works for you or not. That's the whole point of crafting, right? Figuring out what works and what doesn't, playing and experimenting. I think just these two, and then we got all those guys. You could come in with the darker color too, in the center of these or down below to kind of create a shadow. I don't want to keep you guys here all day long. Whoop. I was already worried. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many pieces. This is going to be a long one. Actually came together pretty quick. This one's over here. One more, right? Where did it go? Right, yes, there. And then, okay, we're gonna stick that on that flower and that leaf to give it balance so it doesn't need a spacer underneath it. And then this guy was here. So this is what I mean. You see all these exposed sticky pieces? You can come in here and touch them until they're not sticky. You can, if you're if you have the time and I don't know, you want to fussy cut around the edges and leave the backing on it, you can do that. Again, I don't know if you took like a paint marker or something to the back of it. Hmm. Let's try it. I'm thinking of it. We're gonna try it, right? This is this is real life, guys. So if you took the paint marker, let's see if it sticks to it. Color of the back, that is wet, so we're gonna dry it. Because the sticky back I use is a 3M adhesive, and it's a permanent adhesive. It's cracking, it gives a cool crack effect, that's cool. It's not so sticky. It is, I bet it would rub right off, so just like that. Real life. So we tried it, didn't work. So painting the back will not work unless you use something else. I don't know. You can experiment with the different paints if you want, but I would suggest either just touching it until it's not sticky anymore. You can, if it's not a vulnerable piece where you're gonna snap it off, you can rub this off. It does hurt your fingers after a while, so I wouldn't recommend doing it constantly. It's kinda like playing with sandpaper, but if it bugs you that much, those are your options. And then we'll just toss this guy right here. How's he look on there? It's crooked? feel like straighten it over here. There. Okay, and then the ginormous guy. You guys get so all these are just, I think they're 1-inch binder clips. That's all they are. So if you lose yours or break yours, you can pick them up at, like, I'm going to assume you can get them at Walmart. I buy them in bulk on Amazon. You do get a set with the signpost. And I'll just put these in here. I closed that. I shouldn't have, but I did. You can come in. Let me take that one out. Come in from the back so that your clamp is on the back piece. Can you see? Let me find a view for you. So come in this way. So it comes over this way. And then that way this piece is on the back instead of the front. I need like 5 hands right now. And then this thing's too big. I don't know that you'll be able to get it in the screen. I will show you when it's done. And then I'll just come in, put them in the holes in the signpost, one at a time. Again, I need like 5 hands. And there you go. There's your Mother's Day sign. Sorry, it's like the biggest signpost ever. So there it is. I'm hiding behind it. It's bigger than my head. And you have all of this. It switches out. I think right now I have, oh, I don't even know, 10 kits or so, but they're always coming. There's going to be more. That is a really popular, like the truck, super popular. So I'll always be adding as long as I can. You'll be getting kits. I'm trying to move the paint so I don't stick my hand in it. For those signpost kits, let me see if it will fit this way. Sort of, not always. But so again, they're in the new releases. I don't know. I was looking just a little bit ago, so I'll have to go add that. But I don't know that the signpost has its own category yet, just because it's newer to the shop, and so I didn't have all of a whole bunch of kits, and I didn't want to put like 2 things in one category. So that will be added to the shop as well soon. And then I am having a sale here soon. I'm retiring a bunch of kits, and so there will be a sale coming. So you guys are hearing about it from me first. There will be a sale coming, but so you're going to see like the rare gems category pop up on the website. I will be adding to that constantly until we close out. But those are going to be retired kits, kind of like, remember the Disney Vault where they put all their movies into the vault and took them away? That's what's happening with those ones. So if your favorite happens to pop up there, they'll be on sale. I'm taking 25% off of that category in the rare gem section. So grab it while you can before it goes away into the vault. I'm just trying to clean up the website to kind of make it easier for you guys to navigate. And then other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. So let me know if you have any questions below. I'll monitor the comments throughout the day and see if I can answer any questions that you guys have. And I'm going to go battle some squirrels. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.